Now, if you know me, you know I've been itching to use that headline. The FCC put out a directive the other day encouraging broadcasters to play patriotic programming leading up to our 250th anniversary, if we are still a country when we get there. And to the extent where they want broadcasters to open segments with the Pledge of Allegiance in the national anthem. Now, those that aren't old probably don't recall that back in the day when we had 3 TV stations or 3 TV networks, TV did not go on all night long. It ended at a certain point of the night. And if you stayed up late enough, you got to look at a test pattern that would pop up on the screen, and they played the national anthem at the end of broadcasting. That was not suggested by the FCC. The FCC made no such suggestions leading up to the bicentennial in 1976. And while they say broadcasters are under no obligation to follow these parameters, let's pay attention and see what happens to those that don't comply. Because we have just gotten to some North Korea level shit here. They want patriotic programming. They want the Stars and Stripes displayed prominently, the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, which is just ridiculous, praying to a flag, saying a prayer to a flag. This FCC has interfered more against the First Amendment than any FCC I've ever known. And I've got a long history of opposing the FCC. Matter of fact, we beat the FCC. The free radio movement beat the FCC and won the right for common people to be able to inexpensively get a broadcast license in their community for low power FM. It was a long battle. It required pirate radio. It required breaking laws. It required screwing the FCC. And we won. We won. But other pirate radio stations complied towards the end there. They went off the air for about a year in compliance with the FCC in hopes that the FCC would, we would win the ruling and win this right for the people. And the stations that did not voluntarily go off the air could never get a license. And we, Free Radio Santa Cruz, never went off the air. Now, I was there at the meeting, and what happened is we couldn't reach consensus whether or not to shut off the transmitter. And if you can't reach consensus and you're already doing a thing, well, then you continue doing the thing. So it wasn't a big rebellious statement. Freaking man. But they said that Free Radio Santa Cruz could never get a broadcast license, although they never got any of the legal names of any of the people involved, so they really couldn't stop anybody. But so, for old time's sake, and for new time's sake, was Michael Carell with the WTH News Network saying, screw the FCC. Tell us what to do. Say North Korea. I've never seen the FCC direct broadcasters to do a thing like that. They punished them for using the 7 deadly words, that kind of thing, but never interfered to this level. And this was the party of free speech. If you appreciate our take on the news, hit all those buttons: like, subscribe, share, repeat, leave a comment, leave a blue heart if you got them, if you stayed to the end, 5 stars on the podcast places, whatever you got, man. Help out, comment, share, subscribe, repeat, and even, support our Patreon. We've got paid memberships there. We've got free memberships there. And then they got paid memberships here on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere else, You can help out our independent media for like a couple bucks a month. Until next time, screw the FCC. Oh, and one more thing. Tell me if you recognize this young man.
Do poor people have just as much right to live as rich people?
Of course not, Sally.
Well, there you have it.
And we bring voices of people who are never heard. And we have actual homeless people in here on the mic. We go out and we go out and interview people under bridges, and people that are digging through dumpsters. We go and bring you the stories that nobody would dare to play.
But wait, there's something written on it.
What does it say?
It says, screw the FCC.